And
You
is it accurate? I'm
you
sorry.
you have an urge to isolate you as a singular being, and the area there which we were talking about earlier was enlightened just to see and to spread that you are not alone. You are not a singular being, and they were aware of that. They have you call it sorcerer or druids in the early time that have this contact with the ETs and did spread the message, but it was not taken so well by the ordinary people on that areas. They thought it was witchcraft and so on. They didn't really take on in that timeline.
And what about the elementals, or those they call the fairies, and that that we hear so much from that area of Ireland? What is that population of entities?
There's is some very old entities that has always been on this planet, and their mission is totally different from the people's missions. But they fulfill a very big part in this planet's history. They have different agendas taking care of the nature, the oceans, and all all of that things. They're taking care of the forest, and they're taking care of, in some way, some illnesses, also some diseases. They're helping with this. Not only for you humans, also for the animals.
Oh, very good. So when I speak of that, you're speaking of the elementals per se, or
Yes.
what we call the elementals, and that's all over the entire planet, not
Yes.
just from.
No, you have different names for them.
Okay.
Elves, fairies, gnomes, and different
I
names.
keep seeing, like I see little people out of the corner of my eye running through my home. Is that my imagination, or am I seeing into higher dimensions?
You're uh,
Literally.
you're seeing into higher dimension in a different level. That's why you perceive them. That's why you perceive a lot of things that ordinary people don't see. They can see through uh, devices, but not directly if they were beside you. It's only you that see them. But your devices can pick them up.
Well, I've picked up lots on my devices and on the devices, and I guess that's I to show for everyone else that at least I don't talk much about the things that I see running around my place out of the corner of my eye or whatever, but I do always show what the devices pick up.
Yeah, and you have to be aware that your frequency attracts the likes as you, and they are in many different shapes and forms. So you're
And
beaming out a frequency that attract other entities to come to you also. Some of them are curious, just wonder what's going on, and some of them are there to assist you.
I was told that before, and I'm not out of egoic, but I have to ask this. The You say my vibration is seems to be sort of high then to attract so much.
Yes, it is you beaming like a lighthouse. You're sending out this light, but you're not aware of it, but it's perceived by other entities and also by extraterrestrials. You're like a lighthouse.
I
And
was told that before.
yes,
Like right now, I have this little feather cough going on. Uh, I've been told over and over that I was a healer and that we all on the planet have the ability to heal ourselves. And
yes, you just have
what
to
do we
tune
use?
into that. You have had this ability more close before on this planet, but you have forgot, but it's coming back to you now, through you and through others. There's a lot of healing going on all over the planet. There's a lot of healing workers being aware of that they have this ability, as you all have, but not have access to.
And is it a literally just a point of remembrance, or what do we do in order to really tap into that healing? Because it's so important right now.
You need to tap into that knowledge because when you came here, manifested in this lifetime, you decided to manifest without memories because a path, a part of the path you were walking was just to get access to that knowledge from a 0 point. And many of you are not aware of it, but you're getting into it. And we also urge you to practice this. Practice is the best way to get knowledge, and you can practice it on each other. You will not do any harm. Just use positive energy, positive thinking, sending love, and you also can use it by touch. Touch each other in a not a sexual way, just touch each other with love.
Well, personally, I'm a licensed massage therapist and I teach traditional Chinese medicine, which are all the energetic healing modalities. And I find it real easy for me to do it on other people. And there may be a lot of people listening to this who are in the exact same boat as myself in terms of Reiki healers and traditional Chinese medicine healing, energetic healing, and massage therapists. But where I think the biggest challenge has been for us to do the healing for ourselves and for myself and anyone else who would possibly be listening. Uh, you say just practice, 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 and keep sending unconditional love to ourselves.
The best healing you can give to yourself is that accept that you are not separated and a singular being, and accept that you have this knowledge, and accept that you have to put in an effort to love yourself. Many of you do not even want to see themselves in a mirror because they don't like what they see. You have to go past that and start to love the things you are, because you are so much, much, much more than you see in a reflection from a mirror. And when you integrate that into yourself, then your body will heal. And you can heal whatever you want, whatever disease you get, you can heal that with love for yourself.
Well, what I find so interesting is I can only speak from my personal experience, but I've been doing energy work and cleansing my chakras and teaching other people and doing all these things, but yet and still, it's it's part of my contract to uh, to have certain illness. It's even now, like I say, this little dry cough. I've been trying to get rid of it for over 3 weeks right now. Uh,
Something you have to experience to understand. A feeling you need to have experience of. If you never felt a toothache, you can never understand a toothache. Uh, Not matter how they try to explain to you, you can never understand that.
I
And
was already in a hospital and almost died,
yes,
and almost died. And I mean, it's 12 years later. I'm alive and I'm well. I mean, what else? What else do I need to experience in terms of being so sick to be able to heal myself? I was able to get through that,
there's a
but
lot of feelings you have to go through in this lifetime. And that is the fact for all of you that are manifested here on the earth now. You're still a physical body you have to take care of. The body is very much physical because you leave that behind when you leave the body. And that is a challenge. And you are affected of viruses and so on, but you can clear them out. by loving yourself and giving love to each other. That will conquer everything.
Understood. And thank you very much. I I know it seemed like I'm just speaking about myself directly, but I'm sure that there are many, many, many other people who are in the exact same boat or feel the same way. So I express it for everyone and not just for myself, but I can only, of course, speak from my own personal experience in these situations because I know and believe that we're one. So it's
That
what.
was the exactly that thing we were talking about. You can just express your own experience verbally. That's why you're asking this question, and you are aware of that they resonate with many people, and they will take it into their reality, and then you're affecting many that are listening to you, and you're affecting many just with your attempts, as we told you before. So you're
So
doing a great work,
okay,
great
so
work.
instead of me thinking that I'm just being some egomaniacal person, I'm actually helping the masses. Then what
Yes,
I do for one, I
nothing
do
happens
for
by
all.
accidents. Nothing happens without a purpose.
Oh, very good, very good. How's Lars's body doing now?
He's a little bit hot, but it's okay. He's always getting hot when we raise his frequency so high, but he's coping with it.
One question, we got into a very intense conversation about the fear mongering that's taking place on the planet. And it's pandemic at this point. It's globally. And Lars at first was tending to thinking that, a majority of it was coming out of the United States of America and that he wasn't feeling like it was coming from anywhere else. And we had a long discussion. I'm sure you heard that discussion, and I naming off a whole list of type of what terrorist activity, and he said, well, it was coming from internally. He was saying it's coming from internally as opposed to externally, where someone else is coming into a country and doing something. And I was telling him, even anyway. So our thought is,
He
what
was
do
not
you have to share?
correct 100% in this because something similar is going on different places on the planet, not only in your country, but your country have a high technology to put out the messages and the news in another way that under other underdeveloped country have possibility to do, but it's going on in other places also. So it was not 100% correct that he said.
Yeah, I think we sort of came to that conclusion. Um, in terms of it's futile, I say. This is what we came to the conclusion that as much fear mongering that's going on, I notice a lot of channeled messages. Lars tends to not listen to anyone because he doesn't want to be influenced by when we do these particular sessions. But whereas me, I listen to everyone. I listen to see just what they're saying. And, of course, there's something in my mind. As soon as I hear someone contradict themselves or contradict something they've said, like in before, or cross-referencing, listening from one to the next or whatever. How easy is it to influence? And I ask this, but since we're on a higher dimension than any dimension we've ever asked, I ask a higher up level each time. How easy is it for these messages, these channeled messages, to be influenced by a negative force from the outside in?
The message per se is not influenced, but the people that putting out the message is influenced by many different energies coming in. They they are sometimes very contradictory in the messages. So you just have to use your intuition to listen to
Exactly.
them and what you're resonating with, and you should be aware of all things going on. You have to understand that your country you are living in is a vast place. It's a very big continent, but the news travel very fast across the country, and all of the news is not good. But you are have decided to do that part, listening, just to be able in this type of session to ask that questions that are needed to be asked. And we have told Lars not to go into that. He's not aware of it, maybe, that we told him not to go into that. But that is why he feel that he should stay out of that. Just because he had this urge not to be influenced intellectually in his mind. Because he want to stay as neutral as possible. That is his intention.
Absolutely. And that's what we came to the conclusion. I was like, it's best for me because I'm the questioner. So I can question everything. And I, of course, as you may tell, I may notice, I do question everything and I don't take it just because someone said it. I did have this question is you said lots of energies are coming through. Are any of those energies that are coming through, negative energies, are any of them technology technological? Is there any technologies that they're using to infiltrate, not say per se, you say not the channel message, but the channel messengers, the people who are actually uh, giving these messages?
The messengers is not always aware of what they putting out, but it's not influenced from any energy coming from outside the universe. It's the energy that's still lingering on in a lower frequency and dimensions.
And when I say, but what about technologically? Is do they have technology that can
No,
portray?
no.
Very good.
They can do experiments on you, but they can't not influence your frequency and your vibrations. They can do experiment on your bodies and your mind, but not in your higher beings, in your higher self. No.
Has Lars had any physical um, visitations besides the one in the parking lot with extraterrestrials or even extra dimensionals of late?
Yes, he had the other night.
Could you go into detail, please? If you could share that with us, please, because he may not remember, and I'm sure he'll be very um, grateful. He mentioned something earlier, but I'm not exactly sure if that was something made me just ask that.
We made him take the form of an eagle.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. There we are.
He soared out over the earth and was traveling very fast. That was because we wanted to let him see where there is the most energy boost going on now on this planet, because it's going to be important for him in the future to know about that.
Well, I would make a joke and say that was at my house, right? I'm joking. I'm joking. He
He
always
he was everywhere. He was literally everywhere. Uh,
awesome.
and he now try to work on that knowledge he's got internally, and he needs some time to make sense of everything.
To process it.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. We discussed that. Now, I've been having dreams, and some of the dreams that I have been so fantastical. I noticed I posted a dream about being on. They said I was doing work on a planet where I could tell that they had people who were working and mining or digging out some underground structure. And then in the session, it says that it was on another planet. And I know that I wrote about this. I recorded this session about this dream on this planet where they were. I'm not sure if it was a prison, but I know they were doing some major building. I knew it was underground, and that video disappeared. And Lars says in the session he channeled, he said that it was a place that actually exists, but they didn't want to go into detail. Um,
We can tell you that that was a fact that you were visiting this place. There's a very low vibration there, and the fact that you were there was just to try to raise the vibration to stop what's going on, the exploration of the entities there, and also the exploration of their planets. But
would
they
you say
also,
that was that exploitation?
yes,
Okay, not exploration, but exploitation.
yeah, you were there to stop this exploitation of the entities and of their planets. Therefore, you were there visiting and try to help to raise the consciousness on that planet, and you will still doing that many more times.
So literally, this is just my by being there and exploring through that whole place. Uh, with my presence there, it would helping raise the vibration of the entire place.
You light it up. You light it up.
Very understood. Now, it's interestingly enough, I think that took place in February when I recalled that dream, and just recently I heard they said there was a place that was on the moon that had something like that going on, where there were people that were being forced to build and that had been brought in, I guess, from the earth, and that place was destroyed. Once again, here we are talking about the moon and saying that there's these type of structures and plants and things going on, and we had already heard in previous sessions through a channeling, I guess from the 12th dimension, that this that there are, or 11th dimension, that there are no bases, or there that type of thing is not happening on the moon. uh,
No, there's nothing happening there now, except that there's coming and going uh, extraterrestrial, but there are no bases in an evil attempt for anything on your planet. There have been in the past entities on the moon that were here to try to interfere with your energy on this planet, and they have for a long time succeed in different area, in the military area, and in the you call it the black ops, but that
yes,
is clearing out. That is not possible. But the military is still trying to do experiment on your people, but it's in a very much smaller rate now than ever before, because even people in that area of the military and the black op is going to wake up to another reality, and they are now putting out this information more and more frequently, and then in the end it will be impossible for them to do this experiment on you, because they are going to be transparent, and they are going to, I think you call it busted, when they are trying to do this. It's not possible for them to go on any longer with it.
understood. So they're no longer making any attempt to have that type of abduction experience with myself. Is that stopped totally?
That have stopped, but I have done experiment on you earlier in your lifetime,
Okay. And
and
then,
done that to many that were enlisted and voluntary in the military, and even against your free will sometimes.
okay, and understood. And I thank you for that. And also the place where that place where I visited, I guess doing my work that I do other than being a human here on the earth. doing what I'm doing here. And they were, you said I was, they're exploiting the people and that type of thing. Is that taking place in this galaxy or in this dimension at all?
In this galaxy, yes, but in a low dimension.
So this is somewhere else where I'm doing work, and when I go in, of course, I go in as a higher dimensional being, and I'm there on their out of phase there. Well, actually, I wasn't so out of phase because one person saw me. Was that person just happened to be a higher dimensional or higher vibrational person who was able to
Yes,
pick up that I was there?
yes, as
Was
some of
everyone?
you are very perceptive to uh, uh, the things going on around you. There are people there that are able to see things that other can't see, but most of them is very much unaware of what is happening, and some of them are not even aware of that being exploited, and you are there to raise the frequency just by your presence there, and you do that, and you are continuing to do that, and not only on that planet, you are working in many different community together with other beings, together with other ETs. You're doing a lot of work that you're for present not aware of in your beings, in your mind.
In my expressions of myself. Understood.
Yes.
Do I think that this one? Do I? I almost feel like a crybaby here. Is this the worst, or is this? I mean, you know how I feel sometimes when I'm just like, come on, this has to end. This has to. We have to get to the end of this road here. I don't know why. I
Yes.
feel like, man, I feel like I've been, and to myself personally, even without saying it to everyone, like a big crybaby. Like, there are times that I'm just really like, this planet is beautiful. There's so much. I mean, it's a really beautiful planet. There's a lot of beautiful people here, but there's so much stress.
Yes. And many
So
of you have seen this fact that you have to return to the nature again. You have to connect to all living, and you have to be there physically. Go out, take a walk in the forest, sit down, listen to the birds, see the wildlife, and connect to them. You need to do that.
I can do that in my backyard.
That's the way. That's the way, but very limited.
Understood. Understood. Uh, uh, and so it would help us tremendously to do so, and it would take away a lot of the stress that we seem to be building by this slow process. Uh, I don't know about. I mean, a lot of people are just thinking, okay, is that's all this life is about? Paying bills, paying bills, paying interest on bills, paying bills, paying interest on bills. Everything.
And no, when you are getting away from that, but to reconnect, it needs some action from you to reconnect back to the connection you all have, to be aware of the connection all living beings have, all living entities have. You need to go back to that area. You can, of course, choose to go out in the forest and sitting and thinking of how can I pay this bill, how can I pay that bill, then you are not reconnected. But
Well,
if you
I
go,
don't. Oh, understood. I'm sorry.
we're talking about the masses now.
I
You need to
understood.
reconnect. You need to reconnect to the nature. You are a part of your nature. You are a part of this planet, and you need to take that seriously. And you need to stop the exploration of this planet and the destruction of this planet. And we can see it's taking place. More and more of you are aware of what you're doing, and that is a very good thing. But many people is in denial for what's going on. But we are trying to turn them around, and you are doing a great job with this, and many others doing that. but we can feel your frustration because you are enlightened in a different way that many others are not. So it will take some time, but it will end up, and it's futile to resist this frequency raising of your area around you. Not only your planet, the whole solar system around you is going through this transition.
Understood. As I'm watching Lars right now, I see to the left hand side of him a little blinking light, like a little entity that's sort of sitting on his shoulder. What is that?
Helping with the frequency, helping him.
Okay. I don't I guess everybody